Chapter 5, Barely Falling to Fall in With. Grizz took Chloe, Ranger Tapes, her pet Cork, Griff, and Carla to the mansion of one of the famous animals on the internet. He still couldn't believe some of his friends had never heard of him, but that's mainly how their lives were more important than watching videos on the internet. He's fully aware of how much Griff spends all day in the mall as a mall cop. Chloe focusing on her studies in college, especially her Canada adventure story she's planning upon arrival to the country. Ranger Tape spending her life protecting the forest, and Carla, who barely spends time on the internet. But he knew at some point he needed to make sure everyone's coming. "We're here," Grizz said, walking up to the gate of the mansion itself. "You never showed any videos of this koala buddy," Griff commented, "especially since he's really famous." "Trust me, I've never learned the lesson of never meeting your heroes. I've learned that before I skipped school grades," Chloe replied. "Though judging from his mansion, I'm prepared to find out who he really is." "I'm looking forward to meeting him," Ranger Tapes smiled as Kirk barked. "And Kirk is willing to come along. He is independent, but it's our only chance to go on the country adventure, especially the Canadian Ranger who could be around after we met at RangerCon." Grizz knew Ranger Tapes had hopes, but even after everything that happened, he's still unsure if she's gonna take it well when she witnesses the koala's true self. The gate itself opened, taking them by surprise. It wasn't long until the bodyguard from the building made his way to meet the uninvited guests. But judging from the security cameras recording them from the gate, the koala knew one of them would come over even if he didn't want him to. The bodyguard walked up to Grizz's group as he gave them the news. "Nom Nom is in his office at the moment," Farmer replied. "But he's unsure about meeting your friends." "He doesn't have any friends, especially him," Carla pointed at Grizz. "Somewhat, but I have little to know about that." They all went inside Nom Nom's mansion, not wasting any time to take them to his office. Inside Nom Nom's office, Nom Nom just finished a phone call after getting congratulated from signing people's autographs he did from the mall last night during Bell Solidarity Day. But every time he heard about the holiday itself, it didn't bug him of how it reminded him of 3 sophistic bears. However, he knew a lot had changed. He never met any of his friends, including the ones he's bringing in. Little did he know, he has yet to learn about Grizz's plans on why he's bringing his friends in. Farmer entered the office and took Nom Nom by notice. "Are they waiting?" he asked. "Yes," Farmer answered. "Grizz has an offer for you, but it has nothing to do with autographs for his friends." Nom Nom took a deep breath while attempting to get this over with. "Invite them in." Farmer headed out of the office, not long until he took Grizz and his friends inside the office. The moment Grizz's friends looked at Nom Nom, Ranger Tapes found him adorable, while Carla caught on to everything from the way his mansion looks from the inside. Chloe and Kirk are the only ones who can't see him with the desk blocking the way. When Grizz walked up to the desk, Nom Nom cut the chase immediately. "Do you want you and your friends to be invited to one of my next parties?" he guessed. "No, but it would have been cool," Grizz answered. "He does parties?" Ranger Tapes wondered. I would be willing to come over for a sweet little koala like him," he patted on the koala's head, which irritated him. "Please don't do that," Grizz said, grabbing Ranger Tapes' arm. "Why are you here?" Nom Nom retorted. "Last night, me and my brothers were thinking about going to Canada, so if you're asking about using my private jet, it's not happening. No, we're taking care of that. But what I'm trying to say here is," he closed his eyes while getting to the point. "Do you want to come for a vacation?" Nom Nom lowered his head, which took Grizz's friends by notice. No, he answered. You know I have a schedule I'm focusing on. I'm not surprised, Carla signed. Also, I have zero plans on making any friends if that's what you're thinking about. Nom Nom, you barely gave anyone a chance, Grizz said. You barely get to know who we are, Griff added. That's the thing, Farmer turned to. He barely remembers any names of people he meets after one day. I may remember your brothers, but trust me, if I'm not gonna spend a lot of time with them, he pointed at the others, I won't even enjoy Canada itself. But Koala, Ranger Tapes looked down. Call me by my name, Nom Nom. Sorry, Nom Nom. I'm a ranger who takes her job seriously, and it would be exciting to witness more animals with you around. For your information, I never made animal friends, and judging by how you look, I wouldn't enjoy being around you. Ranger Tapes lowered her head while backing away, being affected by the koala's words. It was just an offer. Believe me, I was his emotional support animal. It didn't last too long, Grizz said, patting on the shoulder of the ranger. Chloe holds everything despite not meeting the koala face to face. From the way Grizz and Ranger Tapes are feeling, she's not meeting a nice animal like the ones Dana met back in the forest. She walked up to the decks, trying to reach from the top with Kirk lifting her up. Upon getting to the top, the koala took his attention. The two stare at each other face to face with almost the same height, with Chloe refusing to get her feelings the better of her. Our lives are different when we weren't internet famous. She walked up to the koala. Unlike you, I skipped grades and I went straight to college. You do realize he has never been to school, right? Grizz leaned down. I know. Really, what did the bears do for you? They tried to make me fit in my classes and helped me study, even though we did that for nothing other than being on a sugar rush. Nom Nom rolled his eyes while turning around. Do you not understand why I refuse to be around them? They're hazardous to be around. You're wrong. They once hijacked the internet, which caused them to leave San Francisco in the first place. It wasn't even a horrible crime. Do you even know any of the shenanigans they caused? He looked back. Some, she replied, but they're not horrible people. Horrible people or not, something always happens when he and his brothers are around. He then leaned face to face to Chloe. Bad things always happen. Chloe closed her eyes, remembering what happened when the bears captured Professor Lampwick once. The point I'm trying to make is I've spent time with them to know them more. Like, do you at least once spend a full day with them? Nom Nom leaned back while thinking about what Chloe said. He sighed while telling the truth to the 10-year-old. Yes, but I only use them. Do you need any proof? No. Nom Nom, I've never watched your videos, but it isn't because I've never seen you for the first time. It's because I'm not a fan of celebrity animals. Canada is a place to make memories of the people you're close to. Chloe, Carla chimed in. I think you said enough. He's never gonna believe any of that. Then what are we gonna do? Let me handle this. After Chloe took her words, she got off of the desk as the former castaway survivor looked straight down at the koala. Do you even remember how you became famous? Nom Nom didn't retort after taking the question into consideration. I remember that I got picked into being one. Bet you were way too young when it happened, Griff added. Being rich can really affect your mind. I've spent a long time on a deserted island with a madman who wanted to marry me. She then leaned down to Nom Nom's face. But that never changed me. What would you feel if you were on an island without anyone aside from the one who's lost his mind? Nam Nam was about to say Gwiz's name, but he admits he never loses his mind. I would lose my mind and lose my ability to think and talk. Exactly. She then lifted him up in the air, which took him by surprise, but didn't infuriate him. Finding the goods in people isn't your thing, but I've done it with Gwiz and his brothers. She then turned to Rachel Thames, who cooks with. Rachel Thames looks after the bears when she protects the forest where the bears live. The animals there are a lot kinder when they're not harmed. When Nam Nam looked at Cook, it all came back when he gave the bears a dog when they were accidentally invited to his Christmas party. But at the same time, he didn't give Tapes the dog, the bears did. I cared less about the dogs I've been sending. I completely forgot that dog was for my Christmas party. When Rachel Tapes looked at Cook, her eyes shot open. Cook was one of the dogs you sent? I guess. I never thought the dogs would give you one as a Christmas gift. I wasn't gonna abandon him. It was mostly a last minute decision to make up for what me and my brothers caused. Gwiz walked up to Carla, still holding on to the koala. If you don't want to come along because you won't remember anything aside from Canada itself, Gwiz signed while facing Nam Nam's morality. You're better off only being famous in the United States. Gwiz made his way to one of the big windows of the office, watching the open field. Nam Nam and the others watch him. Unlike him, his friends knew how passionate he is going to Canada. Nam Nam had always gone to studios to perform videos and commercials while only going to the treatment center on vacation outside of the United States. Gwiz is the only person he's ever close to when he doesn't need it, but never thought about it. Put me down, he requested as Carla put him on the ground. He walked up to Gwiz while he turned around. Gwiz, I'll go to Canada, but not with you and your group. I'll think of something since I still have a schedule, but it would be likely I would hang out with your friends if I get the chance. You're gonna take a private jet to Canada? Chloe wondered. Yes, it could even happen before you guys arrive in Canada. You could do an event in Canada, Farmer offered, or something like that. It'll be for Gwiz's brothers and friends. It'll also be your first international exposure if you're willing to get attention, Gwiz smiled. As long as it doesn't give me a heart attack, Nam Nam said, clenching his teeth. Not great motivational support, Gwiz leaning next to Gwiz. If we meet you in Canada, we can at least do one activity together, Carla replied. We should probably continue on getting transportation. My brothers will take care of that. We're gonna take Gail out in San Francisco to take a break. It's always really busy when it comes to the bears hanging out there, Chloe added. Do your thing, Nam Nam heading back to his desk. This international thing is still a first for me. It's a first for almost all of us, Rachel Tapes said. Hopefully the experience there will change you. Maybe. When I have the time for a break, I'll think about hanging out. And maybe enjoying being around people like you. Rachel Tapes felt a little better from the koala's choice of words. Gwiz felt a little relieved. It almost worked out even if Nam Nam didn't meet his other friends yet. But when that happens and the events in Canada, he won't miss Nam Nam's every move.